Have you ever found yourself asking, why hasn't God answered my prayers yet? This is a question that has crossed the minds of many, if not all, who have knelt in prayer. It's a universal conundrum, a shared experience that connects us all, regardless of our faith or belief system. It's the mystery of the unanswered prayer. There is a common misconception that unanswered prayers are a sign of divine indifference or absence. But let's ponder on this. Could it be that our perception of an unanswered prayer is influenced by our human understanding of time, our expectations, or our interpretation of what the answer should be? We live in a world that thrives on instant gratification. We want things now, and when they don't happen in our desired time frame, we often feel disappointed, even abandoned. But here's a thought. Could it be that God exists outside our human concept of time, and his answers are not bound by our earthly clocks? Moreover, we often have a clear picture in our minds of what the answer to our prayer should look like. When the outcome doesn't match our expectations, we may feel that our prayers have gone unheard. But what if God, in his infinite wisdom, is working on a solution that far surpasses our limited human understanding? We must remember that God's perspective is infinitely broader than ours. He sees the end from the beginning, and he knows what's best for us, even when we can't see it ourselves. Just because we can't see the work being done, it doesn't mean that God is not working. In fact, he is always at work, even when we can't see it. So the next time you find yourself questioning the silence following your prayers, remind yourself of this. God's silence does not equate to his absence. He is there, listening, working, and loving. His answers may not always align with our desires or our timeline, but they are always perfect in his divine plan. Remember, an unanswered prayer does not mean an absent God. Consider the story of a woman named Grace, who found herself waiting for answers to her fervent prayers. Grace was an ordinary woman, living an ordinary life. But her faith, that was anything but ordinary. Despite life's blows, Grace held on to her faith with a tenacity that was extraordinary. In the face of mounting debts and dwindling finances, she prayed. When her health began to fail, she prayed. And when she lost those closest to her, she prayed. Yet despite her fervent prayers, the heavens seemed silent. Her bank account remained empty, her health continued to decline, and her heartache deepened. But Grace, she never stopped praying. She started each day on her knees, pouring out her heart to God. She prayed for relief, for healing, for comfort. And though she didn't see immediate answers to her prayers, she continued to trust in God's goodness. Grace believed that even in the silence, God was working. She held on to the belief that God was in control, that he had a plan, and that his timing was perfect. Even when her circumstances screamed otherwise, Grace clung to her faith. She trusted in the character of God, in his love for her, and in his promise to never leave nor forsake her. And so she prayed. She prayed when it was hard. She prayed when it was easy. She prayed when she felt like it, and she prayed when she didn't. Grace was steadfast, unwavering in her faith, even when her prayers seemed to echo back unanswered. Her story is a powerful one, not because she received immediate answers to her prayers, but because she didn't. Yet she remained faithful. She remained hopeful. She remained rooted in her trust in God. Grace's story is a testament to the strength of unwavering faith, even in the face of unanswered prayers. In the midst of Grace's trials, she found solace in trusting God, even when she didn't understand his plan. This is the essence of faith, to trust in divine timing, even when it seems at odds with our own expectations. Life is often like a complex tapestry where the threads of our experiences intertwine in ways we cannot see or understand. We may not always grasp why certain things happen when they do, or why our prayers seem unanswered. But remember, God is the master weaver of this tapestry. His perspective is vast, seeing the entire picture where we see only fragments. Even when he seems silent, God is always working. He's crafting a beautiful story of our lives, even in the periods of silence. His plan is unfolding in ways we may not comprehend, but can always trust. Trusting in God means believing in his timing, his plan, and his love for us, even when we can't see it. Even when it seems like our prayers fall on deaf ears, we are encouraged not to lose heart. Perseverance in prayer and faith isn't always easy. It's a test of our patience, our trust, and our understanding. You see, sometimes it may feel like we're simply whispering into the wind, our words drifting away without reaching the intended recipient. But let's clear something up. God is not deaf to our prayers, nor is he indifferent to our pleas. Consider this. Every cry of our heart is known to him, each word uttered, each thought conceived. He hears us, even when it feels like we're talking to the wind. The silence that follows our prayers is not a sign of neglect, but a call to perseverance. The importance of perseverance in prayer and faith cannot be overstated. It's like the seed planted in the ground that needs time, sunlight, and water to grow. We can't rush nature, and likewise, we can't rush the fulfillment of our prayers. The wait is not a denial, it's a period of growth, a time of preparation for what is to come. Perseverance is not just about waiting, though. It's about holding on to hope, about believing in the promise of a dawn after the darkest night. It's about trusting that even when the clouds are thick and the storm rages on, the sun still shines above. Remember, God works in His own time, not ours. His clock doesn't tick to the rhythm of our impatience, yet His timing is always perfect, always precise. What we perceive as delay is often divine timing, a grand orchestration of events that align perfectly with His plan. We may not always understand the why and the when, but we can always trust the who. God is always in control and He is always working. His love for us is unfailing, His wisdom unparalleled. So, even when our prayers seem unanswered, we can trust in His unfailing love and perfect plan. God is always in control and He is always working. Even when our prayers seem unanswered, we can trust in His unfailing love and perfect plan.